And I will introduce you to the president of Beaches Watch, in case you're not familiar with her. This is Miss Sandy Golan.
Okay, what a great crowd we have tonight. Wow. Okay, the mayors bring the people out. Love it. We need to have the mayors more often, I think. Sorry, I don't mean to stand in front of y'all. Sorry about that. Being disrespectful. Okay, my name is Sandy Golding, and I'm president of Beaches Watch. For those of you who may not be familiar with our organization, we are 10 years old as of this year. And I think that's a pretty big accomplishment. We are a citizens group that basically our focus is keeping citizens of the beaches educated and informed and engaged in what's going on in our beaches communities, because citizen involvement makes a difference and helps us to keep our communities the wonderful place that they are. So we're glad that you guys are here tonight, because that means you guys are coming to be educated, and hopefully you will get involved in what's going on in the three beach communities. I hope when you came in that you got an agenda, because it's got some good information on it. On the back side, we have the contact information for all of our elected officials. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know how to get in touch with them. And before I get into the announcements and then introduce our guest speakers for tonight, I'd like to recognize the elected officials and representatives we have in the audience tonight, besides our distinguished mayors that are up on the stage. First of all, we'll start out with Jacksonville City Council President Bill Gulliford is here tonight. We have Megan, who's a representative with Senator Aaron Bean's office. I couldn't pronounce her last name, and she said, "Don't worry, don't try to." We also have Joseph Zimmerman, who's with Janet Atkins' office. We have Jackie Smith, who's one of our beach neighbors, and she is with Senator Andrew Crenshaw's office. Then we also have from Atlantic Beach, we have, of course, our Mayor Carolyn Woods. We have Commissioner Jonathan Doherty. We have Mayor Pro Tem. No, I'm sorry. Oh, it changed.
I was demoted.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm behind.
I would never do that anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm behind. All right, Commissioner Maria Mark, thank you. And we have Commissioner Beckenbach, and you're Mayor Pro Tem now. Okay, congratulations. And do we have, is Jimmy Hill here?
Yeah.
So that we have a full house for Atlantic Beach? No, okay. And then, of course, we have Mayor Charlie Latham with Jacksonville Beach. We have Councilor Keith Doherty. And let's see, do we have any other Jacks Beach City Council? We have City Manager George Forbes. Where are you? He's hiding. Anybody else from Jacks Beach that I might have missed? Okay. And then from Neptune Beach, we have Mayor Harriet Pruette. We have Kara Tucker, Councilor Scott Wiley. We also have the Neptune Beach City Attorney, Patrick Krichowski. And did anybody come in at the last minute that I didn't see?
Judge Flowers.
Okay, and we have Judge Flowers here. So we have a very distinguished audience with us tonight as well. So we thank you all. We thank you all for being here tonight. real quickly, let me make a few announcements. January, and it's time to renew Beaches Watch memberships, and so because our memberships run from January to December. So Eileen, who is our membership chair, she's standing at that table there. On your way out tonight, feel free to stop by and pick up a membership form and renew your membership. And it's only $10 for individuals, $15 for families, and it just helps us continue to do what we're doing in the community. Also, a few other things that are on the agenda that we wanted to share with you. There's an Atlantic Beach Town Hall meeting on Saturday, January 11th at 10 a.m. at Donner Community Center. So for those of you who live in Atlantic Beach, we recommend that you guys plan to attend that. Also, the Atlantic Beach Police Department is starting their very own Citizens Police Academy, which is great. They're going to start the classes beginning March 6th. And there will be 10 classes held on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 9:30. And graduation will be May 15th, and there's information on this agenda about who to contact. You can also go to the Atlantic Beach website and get information there as well. But if it's half as good as as the Jacks Beach Citizens Police Academy, it'll be great. So we encourage you guys to consider signing up for that. It's very enlightening.
What's the age span on that? Can children attend too?
Do you know Carolyn?
No idea.
Okay. But you can contact, there's a contact thing
Just
on.
kids here, so I talk with.
Jacks Beach, they do the children's police academy.
Oh, really?
But it's usually around Easter time, I believe.
Okay.
So,
Well, but there is a contact number here. You can call them and ask them. Okay. And then our February Beaches Watch meeting is going to be Wednesday, February 5th. And this is going to be a really good meeting because we're going to have a panel talking about the St. Johns River dredging. We're going to have somebody from Jacksport. We're going to have somebody from the Riverkeeper. We're going to have somebody from the Jacks Chamber. And we may have someone from the fishing industry. But that's a really big issue that we hope that Beaches residents would like to come out and learn more about. So one other thing, we have a young lady here tonight who has petitions at both of these tables. Her name is Jess. She's standing up right here. Atlantic Beach has an ordinance that's coming up, and it's a human rights ordinance. And anyway, if you'd like to sign the petition in support of the ordinance, Jess will be glad to give you a clipboard with a petition to sign at the end of the meeting. So let's go ahead and get started. Tonight we are going to start with ladies first. Thanks to Jacks Beach Mayor Latham, who said, I'm going to let the ladies go first. Mayor Harriet Pruette would like, she's going to start off with Neptune Beach, the state of the beach, to Neptune Beach tonight. And then after that, we'll have Mayor Carolyn Woods and then Mayor Latham. Then, if you could, please hold your questions until after the mayors have had an opportunity to do their presentations, and then we'll let everybody ask your questions at that point. So, Mayor Pruette, the floor is all yours.
Just watch for having this. It is so good to see so many people come out tonight, especially in the cold. If some of you would like, you feel like you want to stand up and give your seat to somebody else, go right ahead. And if somebody wants to sit down on the floor, that's okay too. But anyway, it is so good to see y'all. And again, thank you for coming. First thing I want to talk about tonight is combined finance and public works. Financially, the city of Neptune Beach is a little bit better off than we were several years back. Our reserves are up. Last year, we went out and borrowed $745,000 to refinance some old 2001 bonds at a savings of $70,000 to our city. And we did so at a much better interest rate. We then went out and borrowed $3.2 million for Val Harbor infrastructure and sewer replacement that will begin this month. These repairs will take 8 to 9 months, and if all goes well as scheduled, and we're hoping it will. We're looking to put the sewer lines in the back where they are right now, but they're going to some type of slip lining process so that we'll hopefully be able to do that. It will save the citizens money, the city money, and it will be less intrusive. Some will have to be put in the front. The more that we can keep them in the back, the more we will save the city, though, so that we can use for some other infrastructure projects. We're also hoping to do some sewer repairs in the 400 and 500 blocks from Seagate Avenue northward if the Val Harbor area goes well. And repaving will begin in these areas after the sewer lines are replaced. And Neptune Beach, it's been a long time in coming for Val Harbor, a very long time for this sewer replacement and also for some paving in Neptune Beach. The Public Works building last year was paid off after a decade, and we are using the additional funds to do needed paving west of 3rd Street. Florida Boulevard was recently paved. It was in very bad shape, and that was good. The county came up with some money and helped us pay from Hammond Road to Mayport Road. Florida Boulevard, let's see, we hope to be able to do Lighty Lane, Neptune Circle, Sherwood Lane, South Street, Bowl Street, and Davis Street, and possibly some other paving, depending on how the funding comes in. Now that we've paid the yard off, it will come in different years. Every year we'll use it. We also hope to do some rehabbing of the deteriorated manholes this year, and that's something that's very much needed. Last year, we put in solar panels, and early last year, and this has really been a plus for the city of Neptune Beach. We have not had an electric bill in some time, and recently the city received a rebate of $220 for the year. Our average bills, electric bill at City Hall was averaging at least $800 a month, so we've really been able to save some money there. Our police department, I talked to the chief and he said, Harriet, the most pressing crime-related problem in Neptune Beach that I really want you to stress tonight is petty thefts due to people leaving their valuables in their cars, such as guns and computers in unlocked cars. You know, today we have electronics and all you gotta do is flip a button, and usually your car doors are locked. That's one of our biggest, as he said, our biggest pressing problem. Last week the car had it was unlocked with a key in the ignition, and of course the car was stolen. So please, always consider it. Remember to lock your car. Our police chief will come before the council in April to give us some information regarding dealing with the July 4th issues this year. We want people to come to Neptune Beach on July 4th, and we want them to enjoy themselves, but we also want people to be responsible and to be safe. And last year, I think it was too far out of line, out of control, and we wanted to be toned down a little bit this year, so he's going to come before us and give us some information as to what they might be doing this year. In the city clerk's office, there will be an election this year for seat 4 and 5 in August, currently held by Richard Arthur and Vice Mayor Jolly. Personally, for me, I think they've done a great job, and I'll be supporting them for a second term. The next council meeting will be Tuesday, January the 21st, and we have a resolution to preserve the St. Johns River. It's going to be coming up for discussion. The last time we did it, we were the first in the northeast part to do it, and that was in 2007. It really, I don't understand why we have to fight so hard to protect something that is so valuable to Northeast Florida. It's just invaluable to our communities. In December, the council approved the development order for the roadway between Publix and Kmart and the little bridge. That's been a long time in coming, and for me personally, I will believe it when I see it happen. And I don't have to see it. We still have some unresolved tipping issues with the county that for both Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach. We're trying to resolve them. We have received little to no help in moving closer to resolution by Mayor Alvin Brown's office. Bill Gulliford is trying to get the issues resolved. This issue's been going on unresolved for 5 years, and it's time that we got some resolution to this. We received a letter today from Mayor Alvin Brown's office, and in it, it's a little bit lengthy, and I haven't had time to study it, but there is one thing that is evident, and that is that they're still moaning about more money from the beaches. And so that's something that we're going to have to look at. 4 or 5 years ago, we didn't have the issue regarding credits, water credits, or credits that we get back. Neptune Beach is worth about $225,000, and I think now they're trying to take our credits. So it's something we're going to have to look at. And it's a start. This year, we will be looking at tweaking some code issues that pop up, especially relating to land use. Neptune Beach is a small, laid-back community, bedroom community where many of our issues are due to cars and bicycles and people going through us. We are sandwiched, as y'all know, between 2 beach cities, but we are one community in heart. And we look after one another, and we work together at the beaches, and our governments work together, and that's a good thing. I think most people that live at the beach are very happy where they live and understand that we are a small community, and we respect one another, and that's what it's about. I'm most honored to be mayor, and I would like to thank everyone for their support that you give me. And you ask, what can you do for me? You can come to the meetings like you're coming tonight. You can speak up. A lot of people call me on the phone and ask me questions, and other counselors. And the fact is, and I have it on the website, that you need to come before the council so the whole entire body can hear you at once, so that we all can hear the same thing and resolve issues. That's the biggest thing you can do, and this is certainly a good start. I've had one more thing. I've had several people ask me about the cat hoarding issue that's been going on. I think that was in court I believe it was in court this week. I'm not sure. It's a continuation. I don't know what's going to happen there, but the only thing I can tell you is that the person that the cat hoarder, I think they owe $8,757, and that's all I know. I've had so many people ask me about it, and really I don't know a whole lot about it. But anyway, I don't have a lot. We're a small city.
Thank you. I understand we have a civics class here with us tonight. I'm not sure which school you're from. Is there a teacher here? Civics class? And who are you?
This is Fletcher Middle School, 7th grade civics on the Osprey team. It's not just one class, it's all of them. Certainly all of them are not here, but this was their last chance meeting, and I'm glad to see so many faces out here.
Sandy, you can be ahead already here. Okay.
Sorry.
So thanks to everybody for coming out. I have been on the commission for 6 years or so, but it is my first term as mayor, and I'm really happy to be here before you to talk about Neptune Beach tonight. So that didn't work. Let's try the next one. Keep going. You don't have the whole thing on there. Is that it? Yeah, that's close. So some of the capital improvement projects that we finished up last year was updating our wastewater treatment facilities. We began planning a new wastewater reuse facility that will help the redevelopment of Atlantic Beach Country Club. And it'll be on their golf course, and their housing community will also use the water for irrigation. We renovated Rose Park and improved the fields and lighting at Donner Park, and expanded the community center at Jordan. We began construction of the River Branch Preserve recreational improvements. Mostly we started on the HDA handicap accessible path at Tide. Some of our financial improvements that we managed to achieve were we maintained our current millage rate, and to the end of this really, really unwelcome recession, our tax base value is recovering, and that helped us keep our rates where they were. We were able to restructure our general employee pension plan into a defined contribution plan, saving over $100,000 a year. That's been a big help. We've received grants for the first part of that head path that I just talked about. We were able to, for the first time in 5 years, give employees raises. That was a really good thing for us. Really appreciate that. We maintained the cost and improved the benefits of our health insurance for employees. And we decreased utilities operating costs by about $350,000 a year, mostly in energy cost savings. So that's good on a couple of different fronts. Open government achievements. We initiated quarterly town hall meetings, and Sandy told you about one we're having this Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock at Donner Park in the Community Center. Our new commission meeting, we structured it kind of after Neptune Beaches, where we have a workshop for all the agenda items. One Monday, and 2 weeks later, we actually have the voting meeting on all these issues to give everybody time to really understand what's coming before the commission. We began video streaming of commission meetings, and that's turned out to be a lot more popular than some people thought. And we installed an online portal of our city's archived documents, so you can, it's really eliminated the need for a lot of records requests because it's all out there online and you can do your own research. Community growth, new construction began to rise, changing how our city looks, from homes being built on empty lots, like this one, to the planned remake of community landmarks, Atlantic Beach Country Club, to homes showcasing our community character guidelines. That was a big debate that we had 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 now, you might remember. And homes with completely new looks, showing we are moving right ahead. We've also had 2 strategic land preservation. One is the green space at the newly renovated golf course. Will be in a recreational and mostly a recreational easement and be preserved for green space moving forward. And we acquired an additional 8.2 acres of marshland in the River Branch Preserve. So we now own, I think, just about all of our marshland in Branch Beach. Very nice, very nice. Took 25 years for Atlantic Beach to accomplish that goal, and kudos to a lot of people that have been involved in that. Mayport corridor improvements, we started this program, actually when I first got elected, crime was pretty bad over there on Mayport Road, and we started that program and it's been very successful. Our crime rate is way down. We have focused on zoning violations aimed at improving the overall appearance. We have a new community redevelopment and zoning coordinator who I think really brings to the table the vision to help carry it forward to the next step. Our focus this year has been on sidewalks and pedestrian-friendly safety improvements, such as crosswalks, yield to pedestrian signs, the pedestrian bicycle safety program put on jointly by our police department and the DOT was very nice. We have a new administration, 2 members of our administration, Nelson Van Leer, doing a great job as our new city manager, and Rich Commando of KBG is also a great new asset for our city as city attorney. Looking forward to 2014, the year ahead. Some of our capital improvement projects that we're looking forward to are the reuse facility. I think we'll be getting started on that. Hopefully they will close on the property, I think Maria, at the end of this week, and that will be the trigger for us to begin construction on the reuse facility. We'll continue design and construction of the River Branch Preserve recreational improvements. New focus on maintaining and improving our existing facilities, probably like a lot of you out here during the recession, everything was just kind of put on hold, and now it's time to go back in and do a lot of maintenance that might not have been done in the past. We're also moving ahead with the renovation of our existing police headquarters. I think every single person in the city is looking forward to resolution on that end. And looking forward to reviewing all the parks and facilities that need maintenance and improvement. Community growth. We expect to see Atlantic Beach Country Club renovation, redevelopment, and new housing development be well underway during the year. We're looking forward to a new housing community at Mayport Road and Atlantic Boulevard. I think everybody at the beach will be happy to see that eyesore disappear coming over the bridge. We expect to see more infill development with renovation of existing homes, new homes, replacing old, and going up on empty lots at an even brisker pace. It's been pretty quick and pretty brisk towards the end of the year. Strategic planning. I guess I like to think of it as phase 2 of our Mayport Corridor Improvement Program and more of our Business Corridor Improvement Program, looking at both Atlantic Boulevard and Mayport Road and what we can do to improve the economic atmosphere for all the businesses along these corridors. We've been discussing a community visioning undertaking, which will include the Parks Master Plan, community enhancement goals. That's something Maria's ran on when she ran, and I think we're finally getting to the point where we're going to be able to do that. As Jonathan knows, it takes a while to get things done in government. Rose Park, he started that when he first got on, and that was a 4-year project. So we're moving ahead slowly but surely. And of course, we're continuing our long-term planning of our infrastructure and making improvements there. We're beginning revamping of the Poinsettia area. The swales have all filled in and are causing flooding and nuisance flooding and things, and so we're going to be starting on that in the next few months as well. Legislative issues to watch. The list goes on, but I've just highlighted a few here. We're still fighting state mandated policies as far as how we can negotiate our contracts with our police and fire unions. We need to be vigilant in supporting local municipalities' revenue streams. There's discussions about the gas tax, business taxes that we collect, and communication taxes. The state's trying to take control and, get all that money for themselves because, of course, we don't know how to handle it. There's a big economic development push at the head of the state, the governor, and a lot of different people are involved in that, and we welcome that, especially for our business corridors, and hopefully we will see some funding and movement on that front due to that. Our community development block grant funding, during the recession, the state legislature pretty much stopped funding that program, and we're looking to see that get reinstated and help some of our neighborhoods in need. The last one is one that is important to me because as the beach communities, we have real identities as residential communities, and I think one of the most important things that we can do is maintain control of our zoning, what we do and don't allow in our community. And as far as the sober homes, halfway houses, vacation homes, there's legislation afoot to take the state to preempt what we do and don't allow to happen within our communities. And I mean, that's just the beginning and the end of my book. So I hope we all pay really close attention to that. So in a nutshell, Atlantic Beach is kind of a community in transition, and I believe we've got really positive changes coming ahead for us. And looking forward, I chose this quote by Socrates to keep us all looking forward with a positive attitude and helping us grow in the right direction. Thank you. Are we going to
To anybody that's been involved in a candidate forum at here at Beaches Watch, 2 minutes is usually what you get, so 15 is like an eon for me. So bear with me if you will. Actually, there's an awful lot to cover in 15 minutes, so I'm going to go a little bit quickly so we have enough time to answer any questions that you might have. Had a couple of people enter the room that I'd like to call out here. Art Graham from our Public Service Commission came in. I want to recognize Rick Knight, one of the former councilmen for Jacksonville Beach. Former chief. It's always good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
It's always good to have you. He's done a lot for our city, and I'm looking forward to him doing even more for us as he pursues some political ventures. So.
Charlie, would you recognize that Rick Knight has big boy pants on tonight?
I said a word of thanks to God for the cold weather. finished our rookie year, so that's the good news. Jacksonville Beach City Council was pretty new, 4 of us out of the 7. We were sworn into office on November 19th of 2012, and on November 20th of 2012, we called our first of many public workshops and discussed our 5 priorities as a city. And what I want to do is talk about those first. I'll just mention them to you briefly, and then we'll go back and talk about each one and evaluate how we've done at meeting those priorities. And then we'll talk a little bit about the present and future. Our 5 priorities in the City Council were financial stability, public safety, business growth initiatives, parking, and building community. We've made some really good progress, and not quite as far as I hope to go in a year, but we've still got a few left, so we're looking forward to making continual progress each year. Financial stability at the state level, echoing what Mayor Woods just said, pension reform is a big issue, folks. It has the potential to ruin every city financially, and it's imperative that each of us as municipalities have the ability to negotiate our own pensions locally. And we're in Jacksonville Beach, we're a $140 million corporation. We have to make decisions every day about what's in the best interest of our citizens, and we have to have that ability locally to make those decisions for our specific union. We've negotiated successfully a contract with our general employees union, and we're still working with our police and fire unions, but the outlook's very good that we're going to come to some kind of a closure here before too long. So it's important that we have that ability. The City Council also went to its first budget review for fiscal year 14, and I got to tell you, we're in good shape. We've got some all-stars for our financial management team. City Manager George Forbes, CFO Harriet Royal, Trish Roberts. These people do an amazing job of managing our fiscal structure within Jacksonville Beach, and I couldn't be prouder of what they've done. We're going to be debt-free at 70. There aren't a whole lot of cities in the United States that are saying that, so congratulations to our staff for that. Beach's Energy has reduced rates last week, another $1 per 1,000 kilowatts. So for houses, that's a couple of bucks a month, and for businesses, it's more substantial. So once again, we're doing well financially, and we're sharing that with our citizens and our customers. Public safety, homeless is still an issue. And Cindy Funkhauser's here from the Salzbacher Center. I don't know where you went, Cindy. And Lori, I don't see Lori Anderson here from the Mission House, but we've really worked hard in the last year. And my hat's off to Cindy for all the effort she's put into this, because we've come up with an idea for a program called CHOP. And CHOP stands for Chronic Homeless Offenders Program. In order for this program to work, it's got to be bought in by all the groups associated with the penal system, the legal system, and Cindy's been working real hard at that. I think we're getting closer and closer. But the basis of the program is we identify the top 10 or 15 repeat offenders that are homeless, that are really not really interested in becoming positive citizens and productive citizens in our community. They just like the way they live their lifestyle. Taking them before a judge the next time they commit a crime. And then basically there's 2 options. You can voluntarily agree to enter a rehabilitation program. It's partially financed by the City of Jacksonville Beach. It will give you housing for 5 or 6 months while you go through mandatory training to become a productive member of society. And if you fail to do that, the option is maximum sentence allowable by law. So we're taking a tough love approach. We want to make sure that the people that need the help are going to get it. We have some tremendous facilities. I visited the Salzbacher Center middle of last year, and I was absolutely stunned at the job that they do out there. Mission House here at the beach is amazing, and they work really hard. Not just to feed these people, but to help them assimilate back into society and hold them accountable for their actions while they're in society. Downtown and alcohol. We're going to spend a few minutes when I wrap up talking about downtown and alcohol. Alcohol is our biggest problem in Jacksonville Beach, and we're going to fix it. The rookie season's over with. I kind of see how the system works, as do my colleagues. We've got too many pubs, and we've got too many people getting arrested because they're drinking too much. Every 4 to 6 weeks, I spend a full Saturday with the police officers. I get meet them at 5, and we get till 3 in the morning. And every single Saturday, without fail, I watch us become Bourbon Street. And we're going to bring that to a close. There's a cab company that drives around with a sign on the back that says, Jack's Beach Parking Lot. And that just breaks my heart every time I see it. So we're gonna get an image back that we can all be proud of. Roughly 25% of every call that comes to the police department is downtown business district. That's a 6-block area. It's 25% of our disturbances. Our arrests have gone up 1,624 over the previous year. And it's not because there's more crime, it's because we're taking a tougher stand. And let everybody hear this loud and clear. We love you, we want you to come to Jacksonville Beach, but we're gonna hold you accountable for your behavior. You step off the deep end, we're gonna be there. So, we'd love to have you there, but please keep an even keel and be a good citizen. Memorial Day weekend and the melee at the River City here during the Christmas break. They illustrate to me the importance of working with our community leaders and also taking the mandatory preparation to make sure that we're ready for these events. Memorial Day last year was a lot of hype in Jacksonville Beach. We had a couple of individuals up in the Moncrief area from gangs that started to fight. They broke it up. They ended up coming back to Jacksonville Beach, saw each other, immediately started fighting again, and others got pulled in. It was a black eye on our community, and one that I didn't appreciate. I worked very closely, as did the other council members, with our chief, Pat Dooley. He and I were standing side by side every Friday, Saturday and Sunday, walking the police beats and walking the boardwalk and walking the pier from Memorial Day till the 4th of July. And the 4th of July went pretty well. We sent a loud and clear signal with the help of the JSO and some of the other surrounding municipalities that we're going to work together to make sure we keep law and order in Jacksonville Beach. Business growth initiatives. One of the things that we did almost immediately is we established a business coordinator in the city. And that's there. His name is Rick Amato. He's a brilliant man. He's there to help solve issues that can't be normally solved through the normal processes. If somebody gets frustrated because something's not happening, we get a hold of Rick. Rick kind of knows the situation and works directly with our city manager to resolve the situation. And that's been very, very successful. We also had a business seminar that we conducted at the city held and sponsored in the community center. And it was attended by the Small Business Development Center, the Beaches Chamber of Commerce, and also Florida First Capital Finance Corporation to talk about small business loans. So we're reaching out to provide additional resources to our businesses. We want businesses to succeed in Jacksonville Beach. Unlike our colleagues in Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach, about 44% of our tax revenue comes from our business, and we owe it to them to treat them like customers and give them every opportunity to succeed. I actually travel on my bicycle, usually on Saturdays, and drive around and meet businesses, or I'll walk down Beach Boulevard or 3rd Street and walk in and ask the business owners how it's going. Every week I get a printout from the City Hall, from the clerk's office on everybody that applied for a business license in Jacksonville Beach. I call them up and welcome them and ask them if there's anything we can do to help them, and give them my phone number. And believe it or not, they actually call me, which has been interesting, and it's been fun. We're, as a part of the growth initiatives, we're also reviewing city ordinances or policies that are pertinent to helping businesses stay productive and successful in Jacksonville Beach. And two of the ones most noteworthy is we're reevaluating some elements of our sign ordinance, which has been a little hurtful to some of the businesses in town, and also food trucks, which has been a popular thing to talk about. We're going to be addressing in the next city council meeting. Parking, our 4th priority. Wow. That's not an easy one. We have been successful in getting the low-speed vehicle spots set up. We've had probably 4 or 5 public workshops to talk about parking. We actually started with 3 alternatives. One was to completely revamp the infrastructure, spend about $1 million to provide state-of-the-art type of facilities and monitoring and gates and everything else. Second option was to keep things the way they were. The third option was to do away with paid parking altogether and increase security through other methods. We've pretty much wrapped up with option 1. We're not going to spend $1 million. So likely what's going to happen is we're going to maintain option 2, which is the existing parking, until we have option 3 in place. And one of the things I ran on in my campaign was to increase the presence of the Cape officers downtown twofold. And I hope that we're making progress to do that, and that we can get there soon and provide a safer environment downtown in that regard, and lighten up the parking requirements. Building foremost in building community, we want to make ourselves available to the public and involve citizens as much as possible. And we've done that. I think we've held more workshops in the last year than the city's held in the last 6 years. We ask opinions, we seek opinions, we post polls on the website, we ask people to tell us what's on their mind, and we listen very carefully. So we'll continue to do that. I hold a town hall meeting every month, usually at a subdivision or a condo association. I'd encourage you to contact me. I'm already booked up through March. So if anybody wants to look at April on, give us a call. We'll set it up. Chief Pat Dooley tends to come with me. We talk about what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on in your community, what are your concerns. It's a great experience for us as well because it gives us an opportunity to hear what we may not know is going on in your communities. So we also are working with, are you Mary Phillips? Mary Phillips is actually, I want to applaud her, and I want to go back to her students. I think she's doing an amazing job by asking her students to come to these meetings. And Mary and I are going to hold a town hall meeting for Fletcher Middle School students and their parents on January 30th at City Hall. And we're going to look at exploring a junior council where we get our students to meet at the high school and the junior high school and talk about what's important to them, talk about what family-friendly means to them, and then they're going to come to our city council once or twice a year and tell us what we're doing wrong. So, that's what we're looking forward to. What's that?
You better watch out, I'm preparing well.
After a year, I've got this. We've been working on our website and social media. They've been upgraded and improved. We had fireworks. Woohoo! We had Christmas lights. Yeah. The world didn't explode. Curtis, where are you? I saw you somewhere. Curtis Loftus, ladies and gentlemen, from really a good first step. You know, you start to see it spread a little bit. You know, the Pablo Towers folks, Gail's here from Pablo Towers, they did an amazing job in the front of the building. It's starting to spread a little bit further each year. We're looking forward to taking steps each year to expand the Christmas light program and get St. Augustine a run for their money eventually. We've recently updated our special event and festival policy to support festivals in the off-season to hope to drive some additional businesses downtown for our businesses. And talk a little bit about some of our development. We've got a lot of responsible development going on. We think hard and long about what we want to do to bring the right growth into our community. We've got a new 54-unit apartment complex on 1st Street between 6th and 7th North. There's a projected hotel/condo unit that we're exploring right now on the oceanfront lot near Castle Marina. We've completed the Avalon subdivision, which was an amazing public-private relationship. I thought they did that was I think my last public workshop or town hall meeting. Great folks, really excited, a beautiful neighborhood, and I'm really proud of what they've been able to accomplish there with the city's help. 176 apartments at the old George Moore site on Beach Boulevard. I don't know about you guys, but I'm awful glad to get rid of that eyesore. And if you wanted to find a bunch of homeless people, that's where you went. It was in George Moore. Channelside Homes, 30 units at the old Lighthouse Grill property near the waterway on the beach. Trader Joe's is coming to South Beach Regional Shopping Center. We've got single-family home construction increasing. We've completed the natural gas system for our commercial customers. We had an HGTV house display at Paradise Key, which to me was the crowning event for our South Side redevelopment. It was absolutely well done. But take a step back and look at where we've come in Jacksonville Beach in the last several years, particularly on the south side. Paradise Key, Ocean Cay, Riptide, the Marsh Landing group, all the buildings up there. And now the Perry property, we call it, which is that big plot up on South Beach Parkway and Sanctuary Parkway, is going to be a new single house, 59-lot subdivision. And the other thing that's exciting about that is every human being that shops in the Home Depot shopping center knows when you come out of that parking garage, try and make a left onto South Beach Parkway, you can't because the light backs up. We're going to put a light there so that you can get out of there. And also we're going to put a left turn light on South Beach Parkway headed north so that you can turn on to Marsh Landing Parkway and have a light instead of trying to sneak through the cars when the light changes. Just finishing part 2 of our downtown vision plan construction, and the city council will be taking a fresh look at the current vision plan and also our comprehensive plan this next year. And soon we'll also be starting the reconstruction of roads and drainage from Beach to 16th Avenue Southeast of A1A. So the beautification continues. Plans for the next year, we want to continue, as Harriet said, to seek citizen input and work to make our downtown as family friendly as possible. Infrastructure improvements continue. We've got 108 miles of water mains, 16 miles of force mains, 38 sewage lift stations, 2,000 manholes, and the list goes on and on. Out of sight, out of mind, not for us. We have to continue, and our Public Works Department does an amazing job, and we're going to take a proactive effort to continue the upgrade of older facilities and pipes and things. And upcoming, also, you may not know this, but I'm the beach's representative to the Transportation Planning Organization. And that's actually a pretty relevant group because we spent a lot of time putting roadway construction and repairs in order by priority, usually over a 5 or 20-year plan. And I'm going to work really, really hard to make sure that we get TPO support and FDOT support to improve the drainage problems we've got on 3rd Street North. Last time it rained and everybody says, what in the world are we doing? We've done about as much as we can do. We've got some real serious things in Jacksonville Beach, but the state-owned roads, we've got to work through the DOT, and I promise I'll do that. We'll work diligently to get that done. Upcoming legislative session, Carolyn speaks well for all of us with her concerns. Pension reform is our #1 issue. George, Mayor Pro Tem Tom Taylor, Harry Royal, and I spent a lot of time in Tallahassee last session, and we'll be doing it again this session to push hard to make sure that our interests are protected and we can keep our local control. Communication service taxes, local business taxes, and streamlined sales taxes, those are our concerns as well. And what can citizens do to support Jacksonville Beach in the coming year? Again, like Harriet said, attend our council meetings and workshops. The more people are there, the better we are. We want to represent all the members of the community that we can. Please maintain a communication link with me and your city council. That's important. And in closing, what I want to say is, like I said, the rookie season is over with. It's a time for us to really get aggressive and take some good positive action. I'm a little embarrassed about what we've become downtown. You know, anybody that knows anything about adult entertainment in the city of Duval County says Jacksonville Beach is where you go enjoy the nightlife. Well, it's being enjoyed a little bit too much. And I got to tell you, when I go down to the Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach Town Center at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday and see families walking hand in hand down the road and going to restaurants and boutiques and coffee shops, that warms my heart. You jump in your car and you drive down to Jacksonville Beach, you see a lot of empty parking, and about the bars full at 5 to 10% capacity until about 10 o'clock, and then they're about 70% capacity. That's not the community I want to live in, so we're going to work really hard to get that fixed. And these guys from Fletcher Junior High School are going to help me with that. So and I believe, last thing I'm going to say is our police academy, class 32, Keith? 32. Starts tomorrow at 6:30. There's John. If you're interested, please get a hold of me or John Larno in the back there after the meeting, and we'll tell you who to get a hold of. But we're still taking applications even tonight and tomorrow morning for the class. How many people here have been a graduate of the Citizens Police Academy? Look around the room. These are cool people. Hold their hands. Hands not up. You're not a cool person. You gotta go. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's open the floor to questions to mayors. So who wants to start?
I just want to know your position now on the Jackson Manning housing on Atlantic and Maple. Are we for that now?
Well, it's up for debate. I personally am hoping that we will be able to move forward with that. They're asking for some variances that they might not get all of them. That has historically been a residential area, and I think moving from low-income rentals to middle American home ownership is a positive move, and we all want to see that blight eliminated.
One of the big problems that all of the cities in Florida have are the unfunded requirements for pension plan. now that the courts have ruled that those negotiations between unions and the cities have to be in the sunshine, is that going to hinder getting rid of this problem?
Well, they always have been. I mean, ours have always been in the sunshine. We only can have private discussions with our attorney, but as far as any negotiation with the union, it's supposed to be in public, which is what the judge told Jacksonville they should have been doing all along.
Mr. Moore. Again.
Speaking of infrastructure, the condition of the dunes is a little alarming. And I walked Jack's Beach dunes, and some, if you had a storm surge of 3 feet, it would go all the way. And as we learned from Sandy, I think, they had a hurricane up north, a surge can be very high, but I mean, we're all dead if it's a 28-foot surge the way it was up there. But I mean, 3 feet or 4 feet or 5 feet, 8 feet, I mean, it's crazy to see the variation in the dunes as you walk. Because I walk the beach every day and I can see the variation. And if one dune is bad, all the good dunes can't do anything. They just go around it. And the research that I've done hasn't been particularly illuminating, but there are, for instance, there's a, what's it called? Oh, there's a federally authorized and maintained Duval County Shore Protection Project. And I was told that it was most recently completed in August 2011. I don't believe it, because the dunes that I see, I've only been here a couple of years, but the dunes that I see have not been maintained at all. And it seems that I've been told that the state of Florida provides funding assistance to the local project sponsor, Duval County. And the Army Corps of Engineers has a whole program about that's directed at Duval County beaches. And I really think this needs to be investigated, and there's some plan that's out there that has specifications for what the dunes, how tall the dunes should be, how deep the dunes should be, and what kind of vegetation.
That tends to be more federal, and that project, the Congressman got the money for that project. The Army Corps did complete that in 11. It's not so much height of dunes what we were after, it was the beach renourishment. Those of us that have lived here a long time know that the beach would just sort of fall off at some point, and now we go way out. And that does protect, I'm not the engineer, but that does protect us from the surges. I don't know that there is a, quote, movement. In fact, I get calls from people who have sort of a lot of sand in front of their house that tell Andrew, come drag some of that away and put it someplace, because you're ruining my view. So there's always that back and forth. I can look into when the next, usually we look at them again in 5 years, is the sort of normal,
2019, you're saying?
yeah, is sort of the way
I don't want to
it
wait till 2019.
is. Well, we may, but I'll be looking at it. I will look into it for you.
Sandy. And Jackie, I walk the beach every day, in Neptune Beach, Latham Beach, and sometimes Jacksonville Beach, and I can tell you now, I personally agree with this gentleman. I think our dunes are worse than I've ever seen them in the last 20 years I've been walking. People are cutting paths in Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach all over the dunes through the homes, but that cannot be stopped because they have the right to do it. We have signs up that say do not disturb the COs, yet at the same time the homes are able to put paths through the dunes. Those dunes are there for a reason, just like the marsh, and I'm disturbed about it. And if you could look into it and look into this, I would appreciate it, and I think it would be a good subject for Beaches Watch to have some people from the area that is expertise in this area and come and speak, because we need, the gentleman's right. I'm certainly concerned. Thank you.
We'll look into it, thanks.
The gentleman in the back, Mr. Folsom?
Oh, you called me a gentleman.
Yes.
First time that's ever happened, but Mayor Woods, Commissioner Mark, and Becky Bach, and Darby. I read the paper about this habitat project they want to put there, and I was on the family selection committee, so I know they do a good job of screening. But when I went down, I was sitting down to try and help redevelop Homestead after Hurricane Andrew, if y'all remember that, 1992. And they took us on a tour of the area to show us the devastation. And they got to this one subdivision, and all the houses were pretty much intact, and they said, this is our habitat subdivision. And it withstood the winds where a lot of these new houses just the roofs blew off, they tore down. And they said, you want to know the reason they withstood it? Those volunteers particularly put way too many nails in it.
That is so
Miller
funny.
said they told her something else, but they did hold up. I'm here to testify to that. So if we have a hurricane and you want to be safe, go to this new subdivision.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, thank you. I'm a resident of Neptune Beach, and I wanted to thank Mayor Carolyn Woods for supporting the human rights ordinance in Atlantic Beach and for the leadership in moving the human rights ordinance forward. I wanted to ask the mayors, respectively, Harriet Pruette, and Mayor Latham, what you might consider introducing the human rights ordinance to your cities for inclusion of the individuals, the community, and in making the beaches area, the beaches community a more inclusive area.
I have no problem bringing it before my council. I have no problem whatsoever.
Thank you.
I don't have an answer. I'm being honest. I mean, it's something I need to look into a little bit more. I don't want to overshadow the federal law and what the federal law dictates for protection for all members of our community. I don't want to make a duplicity of requirements, and I don't want to put the city in a position where it's got to enforce what it can't enforce. So it's something I have to look into.
He raises some good issues, and we are researching all of the existing laws out there. As far as I've been told to date, there are no federal laws that cover this, and so we've got a ways to go, but we're looking into it. Hopefully, we'll get some answers.
Mayor Wood, you're absolutely correct. There are no federal laws that do protect the LGBT community. I thank you. Would like your consideration. Thank you very much. And your research and look into it. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor Wood.
I live in Rick Heights subdivision, and I'm concerned about the development of 59 houses that are off of South Beach Parkway, and actually it's Jacksonville Drive.
You're right.
And that the left turn light's going to be in. First of all, 59.
No, ma'am, it's the left turn lane I'm talking about is currently, if you come from South Beach Parkway from Publix, and you come up to that light where the bank is to the right and the World Market is over here on the left, that currently doesn't have a turn lane.
Okay.
That's the light we're talking about.
Also, Jacksonville Drive needs a left turn light to get on, South Beach Parkway means a left turn light to get onto Jacksonville Drive.
There's a lane but no light.
Yeah, because sometimes you sit there, and particularly since they are, the development at Paradise Key is just really going. My concern is, first of all, 59 houses are a lot of houses to put in that small area. And where is the access in and out of there going to be? Is it going to be off of Jacksonville Drive? Because there's not really enough room in South Beach Parkway for where you get to that
Right,
place.
there's two accesses. Is that correct, George? There's one on the Sanctuary Boulevard and one on Jacksonville Drive.
Okay, Sanctuary Boulevard, you're only going to
That's one way, that's right.
get them above.
That's right.
So the main traffic is going to be on Jacksonville Drive,
Yes.
coming up there. To me, I'm just, granted, something needed to be done with that, but I think 59 houses on that lot is a
Well,
lot.
we're not in a position, the law is owned by private citizens. Originally, there had been some approval for site plans for that area, and there's not a lot we can do to stop illegal development from taking place. We have to govern.
So the zoning allows that, to put that many houses in that small space?
Actually, it was more, if I'm not mistaken.
Because that's a lot of sewer and water.
You should have been here when they were developing Riptide. Talk about people afraid of traffic. You know, nobody wants change. As soon as they get here and get their house built, then everybody
Well,
wants to stay.
I'm not against that, something needs to be done with the law, but that's already a very condensed intersection in there.
We've held several meetings about this particular development, and we've gone through in great detail with the engineers and the architects. I'm confident that we're taking the appropriate measures to make sure that there's going to be a minimal disruption of traffic. But that's why we've done the traffic study to set the lights up the way that they are.
Well,
There have been questions.
you still there needs to be a left turn light.
I wrote it down.
Yeah.
We'll look at it. I'll talk to the chief about that as soon as manager will look at it.
Thank you, Sandy. My name is Mick DeRocher. I'm a resident of Jacksonville Beach. Charlie had brought up the world famous parking issue. And then he also mentioned, which I've noticed 1,000 times in my life, when you drive from the town center down to Jack's Beach, there's a 180-degree difference. Now, both the mayors of both cities up there are sitting up there right now, and I don't think that they could take claim, or their governments could take claim for the success, the overall success of those corners. If they could, then, you know, they could pass that wisdom on to Charlie. I remember when both of those corners had drugstores. You know, it was a little town center back then. They had drugstores there. They're gone. Now they've moved off to somewhere else. And what's replaced them is restaurants, and there's a few bars around there. And the Atlantic Beach sector just kind of runs from the Sea Turtle on up a little bit past Post Tavern where the old Starbucks was, and then Neptune Beach, you know, kind of runs from that little restaurant on the corner all the way down to Shelby's Coffee. And it's very nice, very family oriented and everything. But then when you come down to Jack's Beach, as Charlie said, it's nothing but bars. But in Jack's Beach, you know, we've had, where Beachside Casuals was a drugstore at one time. We've had a skating rink down there. You know, we've had go-karts in the old pier parking lot. You know, the boardwalk was an amusement center, which was akin to Adventure Landing. We had a movie theater down there. The Players by the Sea was right there in the south end of Beachside Castle. So we've had all kinds of family-friendly things down there. We've had restaurants that, you know, Tortugas at one time was going to be a nice restaurant, and everybody goes in there and gets a meal, and then they slowly drift away. So it seems like Jacksonville Beach, the only people that are investing in it happen to be, you know, selling alcohol. And it's kind of hard to get somebody to say, well, you know, I'm going to take my hard-earned money and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to, you know, I know this is a joke all the time.
Let me address it, Nick, because I see where you're going. This isn't a short-term project. This is going to be a long-term project. It's going to involve a relationship with the business owners, the property owners of the businesses. We're investigating a couple of consulting groups that are going to give us an opportunity to look at not only what kind of retail market would be appropriate for downtown Jacksonville Beach, but also help us with the recruiting of those businesses. We're not going to be able to replace one business at a time. I can't walk up to J. Alexander's and say, hey, I want you to go where the Boardwalk Cafe used to be, because they're going to say, why in the world would I do that? What we need to do is come together with a plan, and we need to get all of the property owners of the businesses, at least those businesses, or lease those properties to businesses, to join us in this vision to build a real good, wholesome, family-friendly town. And that's what we need.
I understand the vision, but, you know, it's individuals that put their hard-earned money into the businesses. You know, and it's hard to convince somebody to come down there to open up a business that's going to fail. Jacksonville did that landing, and they modeled that after the success of the one in Baltimore. But the landing has been up and down, up and down, up and down. They sold it to Tony Slayman. Now, you know, now they're trying to say, hey, Mr. Slayman will give you a bunch of money to get that thing going again. So the government's hand into business doesn't necessarily always work. You know, the government should sometimes have a hands-off approach on business.
The other thing to tell you, Nick, with all due respect, is they told my dad the same thing. And he made a difference, and I intend to make a difference.
I'll make one comment there in reference to Latham Beach and Neptune Beach. We have a town center agency, and that agency is made up of property owners and citizens, and they have a vision, and that's what we want.
Mayor, Jacksonville Beach just may have too many straight licenses.
Well, we've only got 11, isn't that right?
13.
That's a lot of straight liquor licenses and then, you know, some small.
Well, all these things are being considered as we move forward. And of course, there are things that we can't control, but are monitored and maintained by the state. But, you know, let's be honest. You know, earlier in my discussion, I talked about holding people accountable. That's the first step, and we're doing that now. We're also doing that through not only our own strict enforcement, but we're working with the state agencies that also.
I think everybody appreciates it.
Hey, any of them that move out, we'll take them to downtown Jacksonville.
Put it right next to Cindy's place.
Will you stand up?
Most contractors and vendors will give you a better discount the larger the job. When you look at your expense items on the budget, do you ever look at them for all the beaches together? Look at the synergies or piggyback those expenses to where maybe you could reduce your per unit or per job cost?
We actually piggyback quite a lot on Jacksonville contracts with road work and sewer work and things like that. I don't know that we've necessarily done it as a beach, but I think each of us piggyback with us.
Yeah, I think that's something worth looking at, Ken. But, you know, the issue is each organization has their own process that they go through when they develop a contract and get the bids out and get everybody involved. It's certainly worth looking into. Yeah, I'll make a note.
Under state law, any municipality or county government can purchase on any other governmental entity's bids. Not only in the state, but even outside of the state, believe it or not. So that is available. There's a service in Tallahassee that is afforded to municipalities and counties to research that.
Piggybacking in Neptune Beach has been very beneficial to us. We're so small that it's been very helpful to us.
Mayor Latham, my name is Teresa Mowbray. I'm principal at Fletcher Middle School and also a resident of Jax Beach. I want to thank you so much for the visit you came to my school and for recognizing my children. And we're all about making Jax Beach everything it should be because we live in it. I want to thank you for those beautiful surfboards and that nice sign in the intersection. I see it every morning, and I thank you. But that tree still exists. I'm all about sanity and mental health. A walkway in Fletcher Middle, and it's our one view of the beach, and there's this big old tree.
We trimmed it for you, didn't we?
You only trimmed it a little bit.
You just trimmed it a little. I think we need our view.
Thankfully, Principal, we've got the city manager here listening to you.
I'm on the free side, I like
My challenge to the three towns would be to make A1A safe to cross. If you're obviously not going to get enough parking on the other side, every time I drive down, I say, there's no crosswalks. And if you could somehow work with FDOT through the years to provide some type of crosswalk, then you could start ticketing people who don't use them and don't use them.
Yes, ma'am.
But you just can't blame people.
There's the TPO has sponsored a website. I think it's Planning Forward 2040, if I'm not mistaken. But if you go to the TPO website, the Transportation Planning Organization, there's a link where they're seeking inputs like that from residents. And they're really big in pedestrian and bicycle improvements. So I'd encourage you to get in there and make that point well known. We all have the same fear of people crossing irresponsibly or maybe drivers not paying attention. We've heard comments about building a rise in a bridge and all that. That's not feasible in our area. I think what we need to do is work with the FDOT and the state resources to get more lighted crosswalks across the street, and that's certainly on our agenda as well.
I have been working with FDOT for about 7 years on these issues, and it has to come from you.
Well, the good news is,
We talk to them about it all the time.
We'll keep pushing.
You know how I pushed for those weekend in Neptune Beach, but let me tell you, they told us they'd put them down if we'd take care of them, and we agreed to it. And then they refused to do it, and I had to write a letter and do a verbatim from our council meeting show where they said what they said. What we need is, we need more of them, because a lot of people don't want to walk 2 blocks to get to a crosswalk. And
But
it's
you gotta find
FDOT's,
you gotta find the bids.
it's funding too.
It's extremely complex. I've been to teleconferences, and it's very complex, but it is so necessary. And I've also been fighting them about the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit on Newport Road, which of course we know is 55, and I think that's a mistake, but I keep telling them and I keep loving them. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Lisa Reineman. I'm St. Johns River Keeper. I look forward to coming back next month to talk about the St. Johns River proposed dredging. But tonight I'm here with a thank you and a request. Back in 2007, 2008, we were fighting a water war with Central Florida. Mayor Pruette at Neptune Beach was the first to sign a resolution opposing that water withdrawal. The other beaches communities came in, as well as Beaches Watch. We're one of 60 organizations to help us in that battle back in 2008. Unfortunately, the water wars are back with a vengeance. There's 2 plans on the street right now coming after 250 million gallons of water a day from the St. Johns River, as well as 85 from the Ocklawaha, 30 from the St. Mary's, and numerous lakes and other smaller waterways. And so Central Florida is running out of their water supply, so they're looking at Northeast Florida to come after our natural resources. So I ask that you consider coming with us again and contributing to this community conversation and let them know we want to protect our natural resources. I have information if anyone wants to get involved in letting the folks know there's a series of community meetings starting next Thursday night. The district was not having a meeting in Northeast Florida. All the meetings to discuss this were only held in Orlando. They're reaping all the benefits, and we're going to reap all the repercussions of this. So we ask that you be engaged. They're basing all of this on a flawed study that only looked at quantity instead of quality. And as y'all know, you can't separate the two. So we're going to prove the study is flawed. We ask all of y'all to be part of the public opposition to this. And I look forward to coming and speaking with all of you. And thank you, Mayor Pruette, for putting it on y'all's agenda next week. I look forward to working with Beaches Watch on this to let them know our water resources are important. Thank you.
So we're going to close on that note because it's about 8:15, and so we've gone a little bit over, but I think everybody appreciates the time that the mayors have given us tonight, and we certainly appreciate all the information that they shared with us. I just want to do one other thing. I want to welcome our new board members to the new Beaches Watch board members, and I think one of them left already. Oh, is he still here? Curtis Loftus is one of our new board members. And then we also want to welcome Cindy Funkhouse Hauser. She's a new member to our board. And then I'd just like to recognize the members the ones that are still on the board, which is Eileen Krinsky with her membership. Sybil Onshocker, who's our vice president. I don't think she's here tonight. I don't see her. Kate Dunlap. She's our secretary. Beth Kilgore, sorry. I wanted to say Mississippi State. Yay! Beth is our treasurer. So, anyway, yes. Bill, do you have anything else you'd like to say before we close for the night?
They don't have enough time.
Second that.
Just a couple real quick things. We were able to get $200,000 through, I couldn't get $25,000 through for the budget for fireworks for Jacksonville Beach, but I was able to get $200,000 through for Mayport CRA. And I know Mayport's not here or represented, but it is an integral part of our beach community, and it's very important to it. And that will give us a spark to revitalize Mayport, which is very important to me, and I think important to a lot of other people. The gas tax, you've heard a little bit about. The proposal that I've offered to extend the gas tax. Included in there is the responsibility of the JTA to operate the ferry for the next 20 years. I would ask you to look at the proposal to extend the gas tax very closely. There's also bicycle and pedestrian improvements, a funding source in there for that, as well as maintenance money. It'll come back to the city of Jacksonville. I think it's extremely important to our community as a whole, and the beach is included. I would urge you to take a hard look at it, and at the appropriate time, be vocal. If you're supportive of it, then I'd ask you to be vocal. If you're not supportive of it, stay home.
We need that money.
Yes, we do. And I might also say that there is and George will tell you this, there is a pass-through, and the gas tax extension is important to the beach communities too, because some of that funding does come through to the beach communities. And so it's significant.
$700,000 in Jacksonville Beach that we use for.
And Bill's gonna double it.
But I did get $200,000 that was lollipop money. It came out of a lolly fund that each council member got. And I've divided up proportionally through to the 3 beach communities and the other part of my district for park and recreation. It's limited to park and recreation improvements, and I think the 3 beach communities have already targeted how they want to use that money, so that'll be forthcoming. Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.